The battlefield, a ravaged wasteland under a sky bleeding into dawn, was a canvas of carnage. Bodies lay strewn like discarded dolls amidst the smoldering ruins of Fort Blanky. A lone figure, cloaked in the shadows of the fallen fortress, stalked through the devastation, his boots crunching on shattered stone and bone. He stopped beside a crumpled form, a soldier barely clinging to life, a whisper escaping his lips. "Save me." A desperate, fading plea followed. "PL, please, just this once." The cloaked leader commanded, his eyes burning with a cold, predatory crimson, mirrored the dying man's words, a cruel mockery. "Save me." Another figure, shrouded in a heavy cloak, emerged from the gloom. "Have you found it?" His voice was a rasp, devoid of warmth. "No," the first figure responded, a frustrated edge to his tone. "The search of the West is done, and now we're searching the East." He paused, a note of suspicion creeping into his voice. "There's also no special report from the ambush team." His gaze swept across the battlefield, lingering on the corpses. But then how could there be no corpse of the White Dragon Squad? "Wait, stop," the cloaked leader commanded, his voice cutting through the air. "Has anyone seen the White Dragon Squad, guys?" Before anyone could answer, a blur of motion erupted from the shadows. It was White Dragon Squad, a whirlwind of steel and fury, launched into a surprise attack. A startled, guttural exclamation escaped the cloaked figure's lips as a sword flashed, a silver streak in the pre-dawn gloom. Evelyn was a heartbeat behind, her own blade a dance of death, precise and lethal. The battle was joined, a chaotic ballet of clashing steel and desperate cries. Evelyn's foot connected with an enemy's chest, using him as a foothold to dodge his attack. Evelyn, with a dancer's grace, leaped, her sword poised for a killing blow. "It's an ambush!" the leader roared, his voice a battle cry echoing across the ruined fortress. "The opponent is the White Dragon Squad. Prepare for battle." Evelyn and Theo fought as one, a seamless tapestry of destruction, their swords a blur of silver death. Theo, empowered by the raging energy of the Thundergate, unleashed a storm of ethereal, bluish-white blades, each strike a whisper of impending doom. "I was hoping it wasn't the Intelligence Bureau," Evelyn muttered, her face a mask of grim determination. But according to Ragnar's law, her voice hardened, resonating with the weight of ancient tradition. "Those who commit treason shall be killed on the spot." She and the leader pressed their attack, a relentless tide of steel, their swords singing a song of vengeance. "How did they survive those explosions?" His voice shrieked, raw disbelief and terror mixing in the cry. "Just how?" another wailed, fear choking his words. Evelyn's sword danced, a blur of motion, deflecting blows and finding flesh. "Kook!" A grunt of pain ripped from leader's throat as he parried a desperate strike. His eyes narrowed, focused, dangerous. She retaliated with a flurry of blows, each strike precise, her sword a silver flash in the growing light. "Intelligence Bureau. Further resistance is pointless." Evelyn's voice was a whip crack, lashing out at the enemy. "The moment our ambush succeeded," she roared, a triumphant note ringing in her voice, "there's no more chance for you all. But if you surrender," Hulkus bellowed, offering a sliver of hope, "we will spare you. Everyone, use the secret art." The leader's command was a desperate gamble. Trainer and his comrades in shock of what is happening, as the clocked man with their faces etched with grim resolve channeled their remaining energy, preparing to unleash a forbidden power. "Secret arts? What is that?" Theo questioned, the term unfamiliar. A blinding flash of light, a concussive roar, and the very air crackled with unleashed energy. Sparks exploded as Theo's sword met the enemy's, a shower of incandescent light. This," Theo gasped, staggering back. A backflow explosion, the forbidden arts that use up one's own energy. Theo's voice was filled with horror. A shockwave ripped through the battlefield, tossing men and debris like ragdolls. "Kawa!" Them screamed, as the blast slammed into him. The enemy soldiers, their bodies now radiating an unholy, crimson aura, charged with suicidal fervor. They were living bombs, fueled by desperate, forbidden power. Their blood-stained swords were raised, ready to drag their enemies down with them. Our rookie, run away. A dying comrade gasped, his voice a fading whisper. Theo's eyes, wide with shock and adrenaline, tracked the incoming threat. Theo's face contorted in a sinister, knowing grin. You bastards! How dare you! Theo's roar was a primal scream of fury and anguish. He channeled every ounce of his power, unleashing his ultimate technique, Dragon's Third Claw. The air ripped as a series of devastating strikes tore through the battlefield, leaving trails of shimmering, destructive energy. Thundergate opened. The system notification was almost an afterthought. Theo's body crackled with raw power, his movements blurring, enhanced beyond human limits. He unleashed the dragon's third claw again, each strike a thunderclap, precise and devastating. Erica could only exclaim as Theo's strikes found home. Evelyn leaped with a shock and looked at Theo in amazement. The enemies toppled like a felled tree, their body broken. With whirlwind speed and focused strikes, Theo cut through the remaining enemies. How did he counter the backflow explosion easily? A dying enemy questioned, voice filled with utter disbelief. I can't let that boy live. He, ignoring his own wounds, growled, hatred burning in his eyes. The leader's speed was blinding, appearing before the enemy in a heartbeat. Selford and Aaron watched, stunned and awed. Huh, Theo, that punk, since when was he able to do that? You're right, we should try harder. Theo gritted his teeth. I used the Thunder Gate to increase my power with force, but I guess it's still too much for me. Theo, Ragnar, I will take you to hell with me. No matter what. The enemy, eyes blazing with madness, lunged. His mana hole is distorted. No way. He's going to self-destruct. Evelyn's scream pierced the din of battle. Wind, thunder, god technique, wind blast. The air twisted and shimmered around her. Evelyn shouted, reacting instantly, called upon her own power. Wind, thunder, god technique. Vortex. A swirling vortex of green and wind appeared. The explosion of the mana hole stopped. Theo cried out, relief flooding his voice. With a final, earth-shattering blast of energy, Evelyn struck, her attack a culmination of skill and desperate power. The enemy soldier collapsed, his body broken and lifeless. Theo, exhausted but alive, slumped to the ground, his breath coming in ragged gasps. You've worked hard, Theo. Evelyn's voice was filled with a mixture of relief and admiration. Hulkus, Selford, Aaron, and Ray stared, their expressions a mix of awe and gratitude. As expected, this man I acknowledged. Don't covet the position of Lord Theo's first sword. It's mine. We survived. Thanks to you. Thank you so much. Theo, drained and silent, could only offer a weak. He took a shaky breath, the air whistling in his lungs. Slowly, painfully, he extended a hand. Evelyn grasped it, her grip firm and reassuring, helping him to his feet. Trainer, his voice filled with wonder, asked, Captain survived too. When did you learn those skills? A wave of exhausted relief washed over the survivors. They huddled together, sharing a moment of fragile camaraderie. Trainer's gaze was calculating, assessing. The sky above was beginning to lighten, the long, terrifying night finally giving way to a new dawn. The ruins of Fort Blanky were silhouetted against the rising sun, a testament to the brutal battle that had been fought. And there, amidst the destruction, stood a single, gleaming sword, a silent promise of battles yet to come.